Hello, I'm Betty Swann, and welcome to our show, Wisdom in the Night, where you get help for the tough decisions in your life. Tonight I have such a great guest. She's an administrative assistant to an interior design firm, and she's a former teacher. So hello, Jacqueline Soriano.
Hi, Betty.
You're just young, you're beautiful, you're classy. I'm anxious to hear all about your life and where you came from, how you got to where you are right now.
All right, well, I'm the youngest of 4. So the age difference is 8, 10, and 11. So I'm the baby of my family. I was born and raised in Long Island, in the suburbs. And I just moved to New York about 5 years ago, I would say.
What made you decide to do that?
A lot of things, actually. It just led to that. I always felt not belonging in the suburbs. I always had a desire to live somewhere else.
Have you always had the desire to be a big city girl? And the excitement and the challenge and the thrill of being a part of something like that?
Not necessarily a city girl, but I know there was something inside me that I wanted more. So if it's city, then it's city for now. If the Lord calls me to do anything else, I'll do it.
But this desire for more, how long have you had that?
I feel like it's since I was young. I always had the desire.
Even
for
as a
more.
little kid?
I did.
Yeah. So you grew up on Long Island.
I did.
And are you Filipino nationally? Is that what
Yes,
you are?
I'm Filipino. I actually went back and forth in the Philippines. I spent maybe a couple of years in the Philippines and then came back to America when my brothers and my sister were in their teen years. So I was there for maybe a year or 2 and then I came back to America.
Did you like it?
No, I did not. But anywhere my family was, I would go. So that's where my heart was. If my mom and my family were there, then I'll go wherever they go.
So you're close to your family?
I am. I'm very close to my siblings. I'm very close to my mom.
That's great. Well, now, do your family live in America? They live in the Philippines? They're all here?
They are all here. So I'm the first American born. Everyone else just came here when they were young. And my
So
mom.
do you have dual citizenship?
No, I'm just an American citizen.
Just American. Yeah, so when you were growing up, did you know the Lord? How did you get all of that?
Well, I always, I came from a Catholic background. My mom is Catholic, so we went to church every Sunday. My mom really put that discipline in me. Actually, when I was in the Philippines and I was 6, my sister, when she was a teenager at the time, went to a Christian church. So I would actually go in the morning to Christian church with my sister, and then I would go to a Catholic church with my mom.
For Mass?
Yes. And then middle school and high school, I went to Catholic school.
Oh, you went to like a Catholic middle school?
Middle school and high school. So I always knew of God, but not necessarily a personal relationship. I saw him as someone that I have to pray to get what I want, but not necessarily someone that would know me personally, that wants to have a relationship with me. That only happened when I went to a Christian conference. My brother is very strong-willed. He got me to do this conference for a weekend, and I was very stubborn. I did not want to go, but my brother bought the ticket, and he said, "You're going." So I'm there. I always get into these predicaments where I'm just put in a situation, but I was all ears. So since I'm here, since at the conference, I was like, okay, I'll listen. My ears are open to whatever I'm gonna learn, because I love to learn. I love to know new things. So there was this one man that talked. He was one of the main speakers, and he was a Muslim before, and he talked about how he got to know the Lord. And he was very serious when he spoke, and he told of a testimony that really hit my heart. And his first Bible study was when he was beaten and he was in prison for being with Christians, and that was his first Bible study. He got to know a Christian community. He got to actually know them relationally, and that's how he got to know the Lord. And to this day, he is bringing a bunch of Muslims to know who God is, know who Jesus is. And when he told that testimony, I saw that and I'm like, I want that. That his relationship with God is real, because if he could take a physical beating and look death in the face and say, I don't care, I know who Jesus is and he is God, I'm like, I want that. And that's when I really opened up my heart to God.
Really? How old were you?
I was 17.
That's beautiful, because that's at a time when a lot of people turn away from God.
Really?
Yeah, because they're going out on their own, they're growing up, and they're seeing freedom is more important, and how my choices are more important. And you're saying that you were stubborn, but that because your brother, who obviously has an influence on you,
yes, he does.
and because he does, you went. But wonder what was in you. Did you have any indication that that was going to be life-changing for you?
No.
Were you feeling ahead of time, I need something else in my life, or did it just come along?
It really just came along, honestly. I mean, I would pray to God and he's very far away. But it just came.
All right, so what happened that night? Did you make some kind of a connection with God that night?
Yes, I did the altar call where they
Okay, explain what a lot of people watching don't know what an altar call is.
Okay, so altar call is basically an invitation to stand up and say, I want to know the Lord better, or I want to know this God that you're talking about. So when I stood up, it was more of like, I want whatever that man has, and I'm open to it. So I want to open up my heart to it.
And you'd never had it, right? You'd never had it.
No, I had no desire for it.
So the first time you heard it, it was so real and powerful, because his life was so transformed, right?
Yes.
Right?
His life was transformed.
And you said, I want that.
Yes.
At 17. I think that's great. So what happened?
Well, I went back to it was my senior year in high school, and because of the lack of people, I think I came back to school, and in the cafeteria I was like, I'm changed, like this is different, and I got made fun of because they would go away from me and they're like, oh, don't talk to her, like she loves God, or she knows who God is, and that means her life is just gonna be totally different. So she's not gonna do the things that we're gonna do. So I fell back to that. I really conformed to my friends, and I'm like, no, I'm still the same person. Don't leave me, type of thing. But so I really fell off for maybe a year or so. And during the time, that was my senior year, and then freshman in college, I was just free, but I did whatever I wanted. But that was the first time I actually opened up a Bible, and
what made you do that?
Well, I had a youth leader that would call me, and I would never call her. She would call me once a month and ask me and challenge me, and she'll say, did you spend time with the Lord? And I'm like, no, I'm too busy. That's usually my answer. I'm too busy, I'm going to school. And she's like, how about maybe just 10 minutes? How about while you're walking to class, just 10 minutes, just constantly just challenging me or encouraging me, honestly. Never telling me what to do, but just encouraging me. Encouraging me to find a Christian group, things like that. And that's what got me to do, okay, I'll join a Christian group, but I'll still do whatever I want to do. But I think it was just a slow process. It was the beginning of it. It was the beginning of my walk with the Lord.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of zeroing in on it, Jackie, because that's where people really are. Okay, I want it. Oh, wait a minute, I don't want to lose my friends. Okay, so I'll back off. No, maybe I do want it. Well, how do you get it going? I mean, I think what you're describing is pretty normal.
Yes, it is. It is. I think during that time, that whole year, I think the Lord was still with me through that. Even though it looked like it wasn't at the time, I know that the Lord was with me then. And I know that He constantly will consistently pursue. And I knew God as a pursuer that summer. So it was the summer between freshman and sophomore year. I really saw God as pursuing me. Even as much as I would try to push Him away and say, I'm not good enough, I'm not worth it, I don't want you, or just every excuse to show Him how I'm unlovable, God would just pursue me.
Why do you think you felt that way?
I I think that was just a bunch of, I mean, being a woman, being a girl at the time, and just having a lot of negative thoughts on you. And I would just say, like, a lot of bullying from when you're young just carries on.
Did you have a lot of bullying?
Yes, I did. Elementary school was very tough for me.
What kind of bullying did you have?
I would say I was a loner when I was in elementary school, but then when I went to the Philippines, so I got made fun of when I was in elementary school. They told me to go back to the Philippines, but then when I went, and I was American, I was born, raised in America, but then when I went to the Philippines, I spoke American.
Oh, wow,
and it was
they were like,
obvious
go
that
back to America.
Go back to America. So I just didn't know where I belonged, or I just didn't feel like I belonged at all, honestly. So that's where that really came out of, just not really belonging, not being loved in that area, or with anyone, I think.
But your family loved you.
But my family did love me.
Yeah, but what I want to bring out here is it's possible to have your family love you a lot, and then because your peer group is not accepting of you, or they mock you or make fun of you for whatever reason, that can still damage you, can it?
Yes, it does. It does. But when I committed and I gave 100% to God, and I said, I'm going to do this, what mattered was what He thought of me. And I trusted Him that He would give me people and He would help me. I was just very honest with God. I'm like, I have these friends, I have this and I have that, but I need you to help me. I need you to help me with, if I want to get closer to you, because it's true that I do want to get closer, I just don't know how.
Now, was this during that time between your freshman and sophomore year of college?
Yes, it was, between freshman and sophomore year, that whole year, was really trying to figure myself out, figure out who are the people that I want to, live with, who I want to live life with. It's just figuring that out. And I know that was the cry of my heart, is because I wanted a relationship with God, but, it's you love God and you love people, so I was really just asking God to just bring people alongside me. And He did do that. So I'm very grateful for it.
So people listening, this show's about wisdom. So what would you tell a person that's watching this that feels like they don't know where they get their friends, where they know they need the right kind of friends, they kind of think they know what they want. What would you tell people is a good way to find that or identify exactly what you need?
Well, one is that earnest prayer that will help, and being open to whomever God will place around you. And even with a reluctant heart, and me being very cautious and being very reluctant, or the people around me not trusting, I really was open still. And I also asked God, I earnestly prayed for the people around me, and I asked the Lord to change my heart for those people that I would either be cautious or reluctant about. Or I'm like, Lord, why are they around me? Why are they bothering me? But it's really praying and asking God, like, what is this? Who is this person for me? And during those times, God will actually tell me, it's like, this is who they are. So I would see, instead of seeing them in my lens and how I see them, I would see that person by how God sees them. And that's how I changed my heart to those people.
Wow, that's beautiful. And so as you went on through college, did you stay close to the Lord?
Yes, my college life is very different. I was at a university where it's like 4 hours away from my home. And between that freshman and sophomore year, I really dedicated my life to God. And 2013, God called me to leave college and to do this missions trip.
Really?
Yes, He did.
Where did you go?
All over North America. Yes, it was just...
By yourself? Or?
No, it was a team. I don't know how many people, I forget sometimes, but it was just a group of us, about like 12 to 15. We would go and serve the conference that I got to know the Lord in, and we got to meet a bunch of people that are around my age that knew and loved God, and I just got to see life differently. So I took that big step of faith. I left college, which I love school and I love college, and my mom was not happy about it, but I would never, I don't regret it. regret it, because during that time, that's when I really got close to the Lord. That's when the Lord really stretched me. When I really took that leap, God grew me so much within those past 7 months. And it just, my
It's
life
that
changed.
leap of faith that people talk about.
It
Isn't
is. It is. And it is not what you would think. Everyone is different, but it's like my heart was 100% committed to Him. So whatever He wanted, I was going to do it.
Are you still like that?
Yes, I would like to believe I am. Now on doing an administrative assistant job, it's not my natural wiring. It really isn't.
What's your natural wiring?
I naturally teach. I naturally counsel. I love one-on-ones. I love people. I love getting to know their heart. I love getting to know their struggle and walking with them. I love it. But the Lord has me in this interior design firm, which is only like 5 coworkers, and just doing this, but it's not who I think I am. But since the Lord led me here, I'm going to be 100% committed to it. So,
yeah, well,
wherever
don't
God
you
leads.
know that as young as you are, now how old are you?
23.
Yeah, as young as you are, I would think that God's going to put you in a lot of different situations, and that in each one, there's something for you to learn there.
Yes.
Yeah? Well, what do you think you're going to learn in the design business?
I think that God is going to show me a different side of me that I never would think of.
Really? Do you have any idea what that'll be?
I mean, dressing like this. This is not how I usually dress. I just came.
Really?
I mean,
What do you used to dress completely different?
Oh, yes. Tomboyish, sweats, jeans.
Yeah. Do you like this?
I do. I do.
See, this is a you didn't know was a you.
Exactly. And, you know, I would have never been here if I didn't take that first step of faith with God.
Yeah. But so far, you told me 2 steps of faith that you've taken, big ones. Number 1, you dropped out of school because you thought the Lord was telling you to go on this the nationwide mission trip. It's big. Number 2, you've changed into a career that you're not really sure you're meant for. Doesn't feel like you are, but you're discovering you're changing in ways that you really like about yourself, right?
Yes, it's something that I'm still trying to get comfortable with, but if I know that the Lord is with me, I'm going to be okay with it.
Because He may have people for you to help there.
Yeah.
And you love people, right?
Yes, I do. I do. I actually really love my coworkers. I like them already. They're very sweet. I'm very happy. I praise God that the Lord blessed me with a really good boss and a very sweet environment. So I'm okay with it.
All right. Now, do you do anything outside of your office work? Are you involved in a ministry? Are you?
Yes. So after the 7-month missions trip that I went in, I really got committed to the youth ministry. So I love youth.
Oh,
I
really?
love youth. I love inner city youth. I work well with them.
Now,
I
what do
connect
you
well
like
with
about
them.
inner city youth?
I love how they're so real. I mean, they're so loud. They're so, they're in your face, and they'll say whatever they want. They have no filter. And that is a breath of fresh air to me. And when they get to know God, it's real. Like, you don't fake it. It's a switch, and it's obvious. Now, the walk is long and it's hard, but I would link arms with those people. And I think that's just, I like youth. I love the younger generation. I feel like every person is called to do major and great things. So I love the young generation all the time.
Have you seen any of the people you work with make a big change?
Youth-wise? Yes.
Tell me about a few of them. Don't tell their name, but just tell me some stories of how you've seen these youth change.
So one story that I have in mind is, so when I got into youth, the mentor that I spoke about that would call me every month when I was in college actually introduced me to one of the girls that was in the middle school at the time. So I was 18 and she was 12. And I was new at youth, and I was like, okay. And that was another thing, is just, okay, you gave me this person to talk to, I'm going to be 100% committed to it. So I would meet her every week, every month. I was just like, I'm gonna meet with you. I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna see how you're doing. And it was very awkward, super duper awkward. And she's very, very quiet. And then 2 years later, she invited me to her play. And I was like, okay. I was like, yes, I will go. That is an open door. I'm gonna do it. And when I went to her play, just enjoyed what she did when she was a high school freshman at the time. And after that performance, she switched. She just became open, and she let me see her. She wasn't quiet around me, and I walked with her through her high school life. I was like a big sister to her. I still am a big sister to her. And now she's a freshman in college. So I really got to walk with this girl. I built a relationship. We got to know each other in and out of church. I got to know what she likes, what she doesn't like. I got to walk with her through heartbreak, through figuring out what she's gonna do in life, what's her passion, and I love it. I think that's the one main, it's just really walking with someone through life.
You know, people, Jacqueline, people want to know their purpose. People want to know, why am I here? And I think you found yours. And even though you're in this design studio, you've already said, I like the people.
Yeah, I do.
So if your purpose, let's identify it again, your purpose in life from God is to walk with people as they walk through their lives, isn't it?
Yes, I do
That's
believe
so
that.
clear.
And it could be in any field. So if the Lord tells me, before I was in college, then I went to ministry, and then now I'm in this interior design firm. And if the Lord calls me somewhere else, it's okay. So
can you think of another story about these young people you worked with in this youth ministry? And how you saw them changed? Maybe they came from a different background, a bad background or something, but by knowing the Lord, they walked out of all of that into more of a wholeness. Did you see any of them do that?
I've seen people walk in and out of the Lord. And they always seem to come back. So at this moment, not much, but that's because they're college age, so I'm gonna give them space. But I just called the girl actually before I came here, just to see how she's at, where she's at, and how she's doing. I get to know their family, and I get to do that. So for me, it's really walking with them, walking with the Lord, and like lordship. Honestly, not right now. But that one girl is the one for me, but the other youth kids, it's very difficult.
Now, wait a minute. It sounds like you're doing for her what the person did for you.
Yes, that is exactly what it is. When you think of them, you just call them. I think that's what my leader did, and I will never forget her. I'll never forget what she did. I think the way she pursued me is how I pursue these kids. Well, now they're young adults, but it's never going to stop. But I know they're going to figure themselves out, especially their freshman year, sophomore year. College is a very big step. They're coming from high school, where everything is a big dream, and then now they're going to college, where they're going to learn to be an adult. So they're going to figure things out, and I'm going to walk with them, all of them.
Do you think that you'll keep doing that even though you're having a different job? Do you think you'll keep working with young people?
I'm very committed in the youth ministry. I'm very committed in the children's ministry as well. And he said, well, are you willing to give that up to bring it back again? And I say yes to it. So it's not that I'm leaving it. It's more of I'm releasing it to see, to test my faith in God and know that he's going to bring this desire back. My desire is always with the younger generation. But it's...
So when you're working with little kids, what do you feel like is important to build into their lives?
So I used to work with children between 7 and up. And what I've learned is what my main conviction is, I need to teach them and set them up and give them tools on how they could establish their own relationship with God. So my main mantra on Sunday is more of, I'm going to teach you the tools. You're going to hear from God, and you're going to tell me what it is. So I'm going to teach them how to build a relationship with God without me, without their parents, without anyone.
Really? And what do you tell them?
I'm going to teach you to read the Bible. I'm going to teach you to how are you going to know who God is unless you read the word first and know how he speaks? So I'm like, let's go through John and we're going to see how Jesus speaks. And then we're going to spend time and we're going to listen. You're going to listen to God and you're going to tell me how we're going to apply whatever you read to your personal life. And you're going to tell me. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you what to know, how you should live. I'm going to ask you what God is saying. So I'm setting them up to tune their ears to the Lord instead of me saying it.
And how old are they?
It ranges from 7 to 17, honestly.
So do you see 7-year-old kids able to do that?
Yes. Yes.
You know, that sounds pretty unusual that a 7-year-old could be that perceptive.
I know, but you know what? The Holy Spirit's the Holy Spirit. It could work through anyone. It really can. And it could move through anybody. And a wisdom does not define by age. It really doesn't. So I remember reading, like, wisdom, the beginning of wisdom is the fear of God and knowing the reverence of the Lord. So I just believe in that. It's not by age.
That's great. Well, I'll tell you, if you've ever wondered what a young godly woman is like, did you notice how she seems normal, has ups and downs, and starts out with the Lord, stays with it a little bit, kind of goes away, comes back. But then God uses her in the same exact situation she had been in. So much of the time, the Bible says, God comforts you so that you can comfort the people with what you were comforted with. And that's what we heard with Jackie, with the youth leader constantly hanging in there with her. And now Jackie is doing it for young people. So I want you to think about this. You do not have to wait until you're 30, 35, whatever you think. You can start out serving God and helping people where you are right now. Just let the Lord tell you how he wants to use your life. And he will. I promise you he will. One way or another, you will know. If you'll just say, Lord, tell me how you want me to be used in your work. So thank you so much for tuning in. Wasn't an accident that you turned on the TV tonight, and I hope you receive some wisdom and that you have a great rest of the night, whether you're going to sleep or you're going to work. I'll see you next time. Bye. Hello, I'm Betty Swann, the woman who interviews people on the show. I want to tell you about something we're doing that you might want to be a part of, feeding people with pennies and small change you find. The exchange rate makes them valuable. I saved $3.22, told my friends on social media, and they shared it. $215,000 has come in, 100% goes for food. We've fed people in 21 countries. Come help us.